Mr. Speaker, members of the House, I took this off to look at it again only because this is a very important issue for my constituents, and you heard the gentleman from Fairfax talk a lot about it. And I actually read every one of the 1,587 lines in this thing. And I'd have to tell you, honestly, I mean, this thing is seriously a near work of art. Let me tell you what it basically does in a structure sense. About 3-4 years ago, we started putting bills in because I was getting complaints from my constituents that they couldn't get into schools. People with 4.2s couldn't get into William & Mary and UVA. And then you also had people with 3.5s and 3.3s who couldn't even get into a state school, a four-year state school, that is. So put a bill in a couple years ago. We want everybody to have a 75-25 ratio. Higher education people come and they say, we don't like you telling us what our ratios are. They kill the bill. So next year I come back and I say, okay, how about this? Expand the number of slots by 0.5% a year for the next 10 years. They come in, kill the bill, we don't want to expand. So then Delegate Hugo and I put in bills and say, okay, how about this? You can either do a mix, you can either raise the number of in-state students, or you can tell us what you want to do to solve the problem. And guess what? They killed it. And what I soon learned was that the words of Governor Gilmore, he told me once, that one of the most frustrating things he had to deal with in General Assembly was dealing with higher education. Because what happens is that we fund the schools, but we have absolutely and utterly no say whatsoever over what they do. And it's very frustrating because you get your constituents say, well, wait a minute, I thought you're my elected representative, you're my voice in government, how come you can't affect the way the schools work? And then you try to explain to him the Board of Trustees structure, and they just get bored and say, I don't care, I want you to solve the problem. Well, what this bill does is actually, for the first time in my memory, creates a system by which the General Assembly members and the schools will get together and they will create a contract. And a contract's really great because a contract means that two sides agree. So we tell you what we want you to do, and the schools say, here's what we need, and they agree to a contract. And if you go through the entire bill, you will see that the contract includes a number of things. And what it basically does is it says, we're going to give you money per student, and we're going to give you more if you meet these goals, and we're going to give you less if you fail. And embedded in the bill, and I won't bore you with the actual whole bill, but there's a list of 10 things that they are going to require these schools. Increased enrollment of Virginia students is what I was looking for that I couldn't find yesterday. It's right in the bill. Increased enrollment of Virginia students. So schools will get more money if they increase enrollment, and they will get less if they drop the ball. There's a couple other things in here, increasing degree completion, improved graduation rates. There's actually 10 items. This thing is really great. I talked to the governor's office today because they were wondering what my concerns were, and I complimented them on it. And they said that this has been a very carefully negotiated thing amongst a lot of parties. I want to tell you that for years I've been castigating these schools because they've been making me very angry on their callousness and their lack of participating and trying to find a solution. But the schools came to me and they said, you know, if this bill passes, here's what I think we can do. Virginia Tech is looking at doing 299 more slots. This is over the next 4 years. UVA, 990 new in-state slots. So that's almost 10 kids per your legislative district. William & Mary, another 150 new slots. And JMU, they've actually been soldiers. They've been doing about 100 a year growing. So Mr. Speaker, when you hand out the pain, you have to also hand out the compliments when people step up to the plate. And I want to tell you that I'm really, you know, I wish the numbers were more, but I'm really happy that people have finally started to figure out a way to solve this problem. And I would hope it would be the pleasure of the House to vote for this bill.